Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Chris Hayden from Fierce, and today I'm joined by Stephen Onikoro, Chief Operating Officer at PharmaForceIQ. Stephen, I would love it if you could take a second and just introduce yourself to the audience.
Thank you, Chris. My name is Stephen Onikoro, Chief Operating Officer of PharmaForceIQ. We started PharmaForceIQ as part of the founding team after decades of experience in strategy, technology, and data, and really trying to figure out how best to move forward innovation within the pharmaceutical industry's marketing ecosystem. So PharmaForceIQ was a labor of love that came out of that experience along with my other co-founders.
Well, great. Let's get into it here. First question, just kind of set a foundation for us a little bit. Pharma marketing has evolved significantly in the past few years. I think we can safely say that.
Yeah,
and from your perspective, what is the most critical trend driving the industry forward today?
The most critical trend driving innovation and evolution in the pharmaceutical industry, I believe, would be the use of data, analytics, and artificial intelligence in driving marketing campaigns. So what we've seen over the past 5 years is the more innovative marketers are utilizing at least one of these tools in their marketing campaigns. So I can give you a few examples. For data, we're now seeing a lot of use of these large real-world data sets in marketing campaigns to make it more effective. For analytics, the way it's being used right now is marketers are looking at how do we use the results of our past campaigns or our ongoing campaigns to inform the next best action for our new campaigns, right? So those analytics results are getting pulled in through new marketing campaigns. And while AI is a new tool that everyone is excited about, but what we've seen with AI right now is there are two ways marketers are using AI. The first is because of the ability of these models to really analyze large data sets, we can now tell the preferences of our audience when it comes to how they prefer to receive information, whether it's HCPs or it's consumer audiences. And then based on those audiences that AI can give you those insights, use that to inform your marketing campaigns. And I think that's a really, really powerful tool. The other way is content development. There's AI-driven content development. There's a lot of stuff happening in that space. It used to take us months and weeks to develop banners and emails. Now with AI, you can do it in minutes, right? And that's super, super powerful. So we're going to see a lot of that happening and evolving over time.
Yeah, I know. Chat GPT has changed a lot of things for us.
Yeah.
I know. So it's great. We'll jump into PharmaForceIQ, I think specifically here. I'd be interested to hear, how can real world data be leveraged to augment campaigns and achieve the goal of one-on-one HCP engagement?
The one-on-one HCP engagements, we have to think about why there was a need for that beyond just marketing evolving. So if you look at the past 10, 15 years, what's been happening commercially and really strategically in the pharma space is the FDA has been approving specialty medicine and rare disease drug at a 50% clip. So 50% of the drugs getting approved right now over the past 10 years have been specialty and rare disease drugs. These drugs have something in common. They are meant for smaller populations, but these smaller populations are getting treated by tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of physicians. Right. So what does that mean from a marketer's perspective? It means that the whole model of spraying and praying when it comes to marketing does not work anymore. Yes. And the reason why that doesn't work anymore is it's not going to be efficient, and you also don't have the budgets to do that because you have a much smaller indication. Hence, the more practical and innovative marketers are now saying, how do I get to my HCPs or my audiences from when they have the most eligible patients in front of them before they make a treatment decisions? And the only way that you can do that is to use this real world data. Now we know that we can actually activate real world data in an almost real-time fashion and then use that to actually trigger our marketing campaigns. And that lets us achieve those one-on-one HCP activations that is critical for most of the specialty and even rare disease brands as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. I like that spray and pray.
Yeah.
Building on that a little bit, where do you see gaps in existing omnichannel campaign tools and solutions?
A true omnichannel solution needs to have two main factors. The first is it needs to be truly integrated across whatever ecosystem it is. So if it's an omnichannel marketing omnichannel marketing tool within the pharmaceutical industry, it needs to be integrated across all channels, all platforms within the pharmaceutical industry when it comes to marketing. That's a very key point. The second aspect of it, it needs to be agnostic. Agnostic in sense for it's not owned and it's not locked in within one particular ecosystem within a much larger ecosystem, right? So what we've seen and the problem with the tools right now that are in the industry, a lot of them are not meeting these two criteria fundamentally. The reason for that is very simple. There are two main players driving omnichannel tools. The first is pharmaceutical companies. There are these huge center of excellences within pharmaceutical industries that are building their own internal omnichannel systems, omnichannel tools. Really talented people, really skilled people, but they are building these tools that are connecting their internal CRM systems, their internal tools, their internal databases. That's great for the pharma company, but it's not truly omnichannel because you're essentially locked out of everything else going on outside of the company, right? And now if you go outside and you see these third-party publishers, they're also creating their own omnichannel tools, in quotes, right? But what's happening is because they have these naturally, they have walled gardens, right? There are a lot of tools out there that have walled gardens that have their own set of physicians or patients that they're nurturing. They can only build their tools to cater to that walled garden. It cannot connect with another third-party publisher or another pharma or a pharma company. So you're really missing that interconnectivity with these tools. But everybody talks about omnichannel, but that's not what it really means. A true omnichannel system would be like an air traffic controller in an airport, right? In the air traffic controller, it's not owned by Delta and it's not owned by American Airlines. It's owned by an independent agency that has to make the best decision for who's coming and who's going.
Right.
And it's connected to everyone. It's agnostic to everyone. That's what a real tool does for you. Yeah. And that's what's missing right now. And that's what we've been trying to do here from PharmaForceIQ as well.
So, and I hate to do it, but it comes down to budgets. So, so how are new solutions helping marketers maximize budgets?
What we've seen over time, and actually in the last couple of years, is the name of the game for all brand marketers are now to make every dollar count, right? Either that, if they have enough budget, or the budgets are reducing. But what that means is the budgets need to be maximized. And thinking through a solution for these HCPs, again, spray and pray will never be the answer. So what will be the answer is, how do we connect what we're doing to ROI or to script lift, and then try to achieve a media savings based on that or efficiencies based on that. So one approach which we can always talk about in more detail is connecting real world data to HCP preferences, following those preferences and measuring the engagements, and then tracking the engagements to prescription lift. If you're able to have a tool that can connect all of these dots in one sequential workflow, that gets you what we call the right physician or the right customer, the right time, the right channel, the right message. This is the core of marketing, right? And this is now making it more individualized. What we've seen in multiple case studies is this type of targeted or triggered approach, in some parlance, can result to up to 30 to 40% cost savings when you compare it to the typical always-on approach or the spray and pray approach, right? And that's very, very important.
Sure.
What that really does for a brand marketer is, one, you're able to show return on investment, and two, you're able to really drive cost savings as these brands are actually reducing the budgets for them.
So I'd be curious, I want you to read the tea leaves for me a little bit. Looking ahead, what do you see as the biggest opportunity for pharma marketers in the next 5 years? You've kind of touched on this a little bit.
Yes.
And how should the industry prepare for this? Not just PharmaForceIQ, but as a whole.
Yeah, it's interesting because the marketing team of 2030 is going to be really different from the marketing team of 2025. I mean, even now, I can remember what we were doing 10 years ago. It's radically different now. And I talked earlier about data analytics and AI are really those driving tools. What's happening now is the really innovative marketers are using just one of those tools. But what's going to happen in 5 years is everyone is going to be using everything. So they're going to be using data, they're going to be using AI, and they're going to be using analytics. And as a marketer, your job no longer is to be about understanding your brand messages, understanding your brand clinical trials. What it's now going to be is really understanding how data flows in the ecosystem and really understanding how these AI tools are helping you achieve your goals. So it's now a much more technical and data heavy role than what it used to be. So to prepare for that, marketing teams need to, one, be able to understand how they collaborate with their internal stakeholders, their internal data teams, their internal COEs, as well as work with external partners who can really help them achieve the goals and prepare them for that future. The second part, this is more personal for marketing leaders, is to really upskill in this perspective, right? You have a strong clinical background, you have a strong branding background, but without actually understanding data and technology, you may not be competitive as a marketing person in the future. And that's really, really important for everyone to think about.
It's fascinating. Stephen, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you, Chris. It was really awesome talking to you guys.